guys. Apparently, something's up with YouTube these days. It's like keeps acting up, and when you go live, it seems to be a problem here all the time. It goes, it like wigs out the first round. So, anyways, I suppose actually do some work here today, maybe. Trying to play catch up with a million things. Which reminds me, I should probably cut my grass. Let me gotta fix this real quick. There we go. This mount gets loose after it. Play around with it for a while. All right, there we go. What's going on, guys? So I'm just messing around here a little bit in the garage today. Found some, I guess, for once I actually got a little bit of a win here. It's like usually when I buy something, it's every disaster under the sun, but doesn't seem to be that way here this particular time anyway. So kind of digging into this thing a little bit and found it's got some pretty decent parts into it actually. So just slowly tearing it down here. My son has been helping me a little bit or whatever there. So, but we're getting, it was kind of a weird, it was like kind of weird. It was sort of funny when I sort of looked back at it, like it's an LS6 block, and then they put like a truck oil pan. I think it's a truck oil pan. It's definitely a bigger oil pan. Yeah, assuming it's like a truck or maybe, yeah, because I think the Trailblazer pans have the oil filter in the middle, I do believe there. So there's that. But so I'm just slowly tearing this thing down. I need to take the brackets off of this. So I think that's the right. Got a giant mess all over my floor now. That's a nice situation there too. Grab the battery. I bought a couple of those cheap Ryobi. Actually, they were from Amazon, as a matter of fact, but they're 8 amp-hour batteries, and they were on sale there. So I grabbed a couple of those, and they seem to work pretty decent. But welcome in, guys. I'm just, like I said, slowly tearing this thing down. I got it. I wasn't sure if I was planning on tearing it fully down when I first got it, but I was like, whatever, man. I might as well just do it at this point, this far in. So I pulled the back cover off because it was like, if you look at, I don't know, you guys can probably see here. So it's pretty like baked on in the bottom. So I suspect what happened here was, if you guys have been following along for a bit, kind of remember, I think it came out of a Tahoe, and I think what they did was they just took the Tahoe like windage tray and pickup, and then they put like a new oil pump in it, and so it's got a new oil pump, definitely for sure. That it looks like, I would say, new timing chain and gear, and then a new camshaft. And remember, if you guys were in one of the other lives there, this thing had, it was like kind of tickling the valves there a little bit. What's going on, guys? How's it going, Busted? Yeah, no worries, man. I know you're probably busier than I am. So it's so this is a LS engine. It's so we're kind of just tearing this down and figuring it out as we go. So, are you new here, man? Are you new in here? So, if you're following along for a while here already, I bought like I think it's like a 2005 Chevy Tahoe. It was actually funny because people were arguing with me about it, and I was like clearly trying to tell them, but sometimes people don't want to listen. So I posted that I bought a Tahoe, and like I ran the numbers, and it came out to be an LS6. And so, want to buy my SE 430? No. No, I do not. I do old cars. So I posted that I got this like essentially free LS6. So how this whole thing came to be, how I ended up with this thing was I was looking for I didn't want to deal with building a motor, which somehow I am anyways. Mostly for this reason, because I don't have garage space, and I mean, my garage isn't the cleanest. This isn't really the ideal place to be building an engine. But I started searching for, like, I think I was searching for just some sort of semi-decent. I think I was, as a matter of fact, I think I was looking for a cammed LS of some sort. So I think I was looking for like a cam 6.2 or 6.0. And so I ended up seeing this guy, and he posted this as a 383 LS, and then he sent me some pictures and told me the cam that he thought was in there and whatever. And there was no way, because it didn't even have double springs and all this stuff. So I knew it was probably likely stock. He sent me a video of it running, and it sounded like it maybe had a cam, but it was open header, so how would you tell? So anyways, when I started tearing it down here a little bit, I ran the block number, and it came up as an LS6. So that was the first start. And then so I knew it was at least an LS6 block, and if you know anything about like the LS1/LS6, they started running out of LS1 blocks, I think around, I don't remember the exact year, somebody in the comments probably knows better than me, but it was I think around 2000, 2001, something like that. They started running out of LS1 blocks, and so the LS6 block started getting used. It was still an LS1, all the same cam specs and pistons and all that stuff, but I think there was they changed something with the oiling and a few things like that and made some things better. So that's why if you looked at the LS6s, they started being a little more durable because they had better oiling and things like that for higher RPM. I think there was like windows in it or something like that. I forget how it worked off the top of my head here, but so these things fully dressed are only like 400, I don't know, I think it's like 460 pounds or something like that, which is crazy. It was free, so I ended up getting it. It had an MSD 6014 box with it. I have the Holley intake here, so it's like a Holley, I guess it would be, it's a dual plane carbureted intake, but it came with that. So the Holley, I think it's a low rise intake here. And then MSD 6014, the coils and all the accessories, plus the vehicle that I got with it, which is, I mean, the weight of the metal from that paid for this. I paid $300 for it, so that was for everything. So then when I started tearing this thing down, I found out me and my son were tearing it down there, and it actually has a camshaft in it. So it's a BTR cam in it actually, and why it was, if you guys were in here the other day, you saw that it has flat top pistons in it. I posted some pictures there too. Oh, you're new? What's up, Breeze? Throw it away and find an LQ9. Why would I do that? It's free, man. So these things are pretty, I mean, there's pros and cons to them, of course. The first generation of anything is not the best or whatever, but I mean, it's super light. It still has cross hatching on the cylinder walls, some stuff like that. So debating if I'm gonna start. So I guess I'm gonna have to pull it apart anyways. I was debating if I should take the windage tray and all this stuff off of it. Probably gonna have to. So I think what they did was they blew up this 5.3 out of the Tahoe, and then they probably didn't even know what this motor was by the looks of it. And then they just ended up putting like the windage tray and the truck oil pan and the truck accessories onto this LS1 essentially. I don't know why they threw it in there, carbureted or whatever, because it was, when they sent me the video, it was in the Tahoe, but that thing's a train wreck. So I actually got some really good heads. There's actually a shop that freshens up heads and things like that. And long story short, it was some customer that didn't pay, so I got a good price on a set of nice heads. It is a Tri-5. You are correct, sir. You are correct. Yeah, it's a 56. It's a 210. 56 though, yeah. So yeah, this one's been getting, that's actually, I'm still not 100% committed that this is going to actually go into this car. Like, I'm kind of on the fence if I'm being totally honest about it, because I want this, I'm on the fence if I keep this longer term, if I should turn this into like keep it as like a budget car. So the whole point of this was that I got it like for cheap essentially. But you can see, man, I always think it's so cool. You know, open and close those doors and they just close like brand new for a car that's like 70 years old. So there is that. What's funny about it was he gave me one floor pan for this car. And the floor pan, I mean, if you guys have ever bought any aftermarket floor pans these days, they're never close to even fitting. You have to beat them and cut them and everything else. I literally just set this one in there because it was I was cleaning up and I was moving it around and I just kind of dropped it in there. And I was like, holy crap, man, this thing fits perfect. So that's good to know. But yeah, so this thing, this will be an upcoming video here. It's gonna just take me a while because this thing needs everything. So I've been going to Summit Racing here and kind of getting some parts on and off as I have some free time and just try to find deals on things like, so some of the things, I think I mentioned this before, that were kind of holding me back from really doing anything with this car was I do everything super cheap, right? Like I try to do it on a super tight budget. And so two of the main things that I really didn't want to spend money on was brakes and so brakes and the front windshield. That was the two things, and then it needs side windows too. I actually found a good deal on some side windows, so I think I'm gonna order those. They're new, but it literally needs everything. So give me 1 second here. I gotta throw some trash away here, guys. But so this is like I said, a 56 210, and usually I'd want to just dig in and start prepping it for paint and stuff like that. But this is going to be a big project. It kind of needs everything. So, but I ended up going to Summit Racing. I found a set of disc brake set for the front of this car. So you can kind of see it's apart here now. I took the whole front end off and some other things. So I usually show you guys what I've kind of been working on in these lives or whatever. But I've actually removed a whole bunch of parts. The interior is completely stripped out now. I should probably take the glass out of it, but just in case I have to go in and out with it, because I'm not going to just do back to back of these because it just hurts the algorithm views and stuff like that. So how's it going, Toby? What's going on, man? Nice classic car. I'm a car guy. I love cars. Nice. So, but it is, I mean, it's pretty relatively straight. The other side has a ding in it from when they pulled it out of, it was sitting under like an open pole barn for years. And when I went to buy it, he hired a tow truck guy to pull it out of there, which is good because I didn't have to deal with it and I wouldn't be able to get it. I probably could have got it out, but it would have been a whole ordeal. But then they ended up hitting the passenger side. I actually hit the fender on the passenger side and the quarter panel, which sucks because it was sitting there for freaking like decades and never had any problems. And then they pull it out and put dents in it. What's going on? Andre, I think? I don't know if I said that right, man. I have a 65 Chevy pickup. Nice. That's on my bucket list too, actually. Is it a small window truck? So right now what I'm trying to do here is I need to pull the camshaft out of this thing here. So I actually pulled the back cover off of this engine because I wanted to see, because when you started looking at it, you could kind of tell it had some miles on it for sure, and everything was kind of like baked up or whatever. You can see the pistons were kind of like charred up with oil a little bit, and same with everything else. And then I was looking at the camshaft and the front. I can actually show you. But I was looking at, like, here's the timing gear. I mean, it's a little bit wet right now because it got stuff spilled on it from spinning the motor over, but this timing gear looks like it's brand new. So I was like, the timing chain looks new and the timing gear looks new and the oil pump looked changed, but it was, and then you look at everything else, it was like, oh, that's dirty and this is dirty and all this stuff. So obviously they had taken this thing apart. It looks like I would say they put a new cam retainer in it, a BTR cam, new oil pump, and timing gear set, and everything else they left. And so when they so this thing had this, which is kind of, well, I guess that would have been the stock head. So it had 241 heads on it. with stock springs, it looks like. And so they must have been, either the springs are just wore out from having miles on them, which is possible. I mean, you gotta think this motor is still like almost 30 years old, right? So just, so they either over revved it, which is possible, or the springs were wore out, or both. And so I think they obviously never heard anything, but it was probably getting close there if they would have kept beating on it. All it would have taken is, because you could just see it barely tickled the pistons, like barely. So obviously that's a thing. So I pulled the back off just to see what was in there, and it's an NSR cam, so no springs required cam, and that's what happened. They put it in. So I'm not going to use it because it's too small for what I want to use it for, but I'll probably save it, maybe put it in like a 5.3 or something like that with no, just same thing. I would do it with no springs, turn down the rev limiter or whatever, and it'll be good enough for another project. So I actually have a project. I almost just about don't want to tear this apart because I almost was like, man, maybe I should just get a 6-liter for this thing or a 6.2 because I want it to make lots of NA power. And so I thought, well, maybe I should get like a 6.2 or something for it instead. But I don't know, because I got decent heads now, so I think it'll make okay power. I just got to figure out some sort of a decent camshaft. So I've been looking at like Summit Racing brand camshafts. Been talking to some people over there, trying to figure out if we can maybe figure out what would be, I guess, ideal for making. I mean, I'd like it to make as much as my Camaro makes, so around that like 550 horse-ish thing. So, and the heads I got, I think, will allow that. So that's kind of what I'm sort of hoping for. I know, of course, if you add cubes, it just gets that much easier. Like honestly, a 6.2 with a bigger cam will go, even with rec port heads will, like even like the stock rec port heads, I think they flow 320 CFM, so that'll go 575 horse NA pretty easily. What's going on, guys? Had a 71 had a 71 Chevelle 454, 4 on the floor, regretting sale every day. I bet you are. Where are you from, man? So I guess I don't know. I'm just gonna pull it out this side. It needed to be regasketed anyways. I don't know when they took it apart, if they just didn't know what they were doing. You guys know, and I could tell just by looking at it. Like even when you put the pan and all this stuff on with the front cover, you got to put like a little bit of RTV glue in there, or they'll drip. And then I think they didn't have the cover sealed, like the valley cover sealed very good. They must have pulled that off, and then it was leaking, and it was leaking everywhere. So I'm glad I took it apart, because there's nothing worse than a leaking engine, especially like an LS that doesn't need to be leaking, because there's absolutely no reason for an LS to leak. If you guys have ever had LSs, you know they shouldn't leak. So that's what the deal with this one is. So I don't know, it was a pretty decent deal anyways, I thought. For, like I said, it came with an MSD 6014 Holley, maybe it is a mid-rise intake, but it's a dual plane, which aren't the best. There's the better ones. It's things like that. So, but if you could add like 6 pounds of boost or something like that, what would that be? You know, if it made 500 horse, let's say, even, you know, probably would make close to 700, which would be like way more than enough for this car. So still would be worth it, but 6.2 would be better starting point, because it would make way more NA power. I would rather just, honestly, if it would have enough power NA, I'd rather just probably kind of leave it NA and build a turbo thing for something else. But like everything, if I start putting like exhaust and headers and all this stuff on this car, it can start adding up quick. And I already have a turbo kit sitting over there, so then I've already got the headers. If you think about it in that way, it's like I've got the headers ready, then all you got to do is do a little bit of turbo piping and stuff, and all of a sudden, there you go. Said even on low boost, if you had it at, I don't know, what would 5 pounds make? That's like, I should know this off the top of my head. Yeah, it probably makes 650 horse anyways on 6 pounds, something like that. If it made like over like 500-ish probably. I think it'll make more than that actually. Tony Angelo, if you watch Stay Tuned there, he did a pretty much a copycat of this. Riverside, California, nice. Got family out in that area. White 55, right-hand drive. Sure, yeah. Wasn't white. It was a canary yellow originally. You can kind of see at the front. I don't know if you can kind of notice right at the front there, the firewall. It was like a weird, not even canary yellow. It was like that old pastel yellow that they used on all the cars back then. The trunk and all that stuff is still at. So what I should do is once I change out the windows and stuff, I should get the guy. I should take it to a tint shop and get him, or get a mobile guy or something out here to do this, because it would be a lot easier before all the interior is back in it. So I actually have the front and rear seats for this thing. They need to be recovered, but I don't know if I'm going to use them or not, because they're freaking heavy, man. It's crazy how heavy they are. So again, from a performance standpoint, I guess it is what it is. But all right, try not to lose these screws because those are kind of important. So here's your cam retainer plate, which I think this has been changed already by the looks of it. Or if you guys have never had one of these engines apart, this is actually on an LS. This is the farthest I've ever actually had one apart, which is kind of funny. Never had a reason to before. This is only the second LS that I've done, so that's why I'm just kind of learning some of this stuff as we go. What's going on from Vegas, man? Is this for blue collar? You're talking like blue collar drags? Like Dalton's there? Is that what you're talking about? No, I was just putting it together. I don't know. I'm always doing something here, so. All right, let's see if we can get a bolt in there. Need a longer bolt to put in here to see if we can. I guess we gotta take the lifter trays and stuff out. And then, should be it. I don't know what they did. It looked like they put like blue Loctite on them or something. I don't know why they did that, but all right. I don't think that was necessary. So like, I've heard this. I don't know this for sure, but maybe somebody again in the comments could tell me. But I've heard that these cam retainer plates, sometimes if they don't seal good, that can cause oil pressure issues. I don't know. I guess if it didn't, I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess I suppose it potentially could if it was bleeding out past that cam bearing there, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe you guys know. But yeah, it's got, I was searching up the oil pump number here. It's definitely new. It's funny because this freaking, no wonder this original engine got changed. It must have blown because this thing is just plastered. And then this is the type of thing when you see this, how this is all plastered on like this. That's the type of thing where people are like, oh, I had lifters fail. LS's suck. Oh, my cam failed. LS's suck. It's like, that's because you didn't change your oil for frickin' 50,000 miles. I've never had that problem ever. And I've had lots of these LS's. So I think I might be able to reuse the windage tray, but not the, don't think I'm gonna be able to reuse the oil pump pickup. I might be able to use this oil pan because these cars like a lot more clearance than a lot of cars, but do I want that to be a problem down the road? It's also filthy, and I just don't know if I want to really deal with it, honestly. Even the block is pretty filthy. It needs to be hand brushed up a little better or whatever, but might just have to clean it up a little by hand here. Let me see if we can get that in there. No. What do you guys got going on? Been working on my blue collar drags ride. Been on both poverty tours. Nice. Yeah, I know Dalton a little bit there. I actually delivered a car to him in one of his videos there. He's got a lot going on, so we both got a lot going on, so we're just always whatever, doing our own things, I guess. I thought about maybe going, so are you gonna go to the duct tape drags too then, or are you just going to the blue collar drags? I know I missed last year, and I know there was a lot of people upset last year at the duct tape or drags or whatever, and that's why they moved it. But apparently that situation was kind of similar to what they're doing this year, because I think Farm Truck and Asian are there, which would be pretty cool, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, but then they had that Tri 5 shootout, and apparently that was just some sort of a not very good not very good situation there. So I don't know for sure, I wasn't there, but that's just what I heard. So maybe they'll have it figured out this year a little bit better. All right, what size bolts or sockets are these? But yeah, it's the problem. Like, so the Poverty Tour one, I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool idea, whatever. The problem for a guy like me is, again, to take, I would have needed to take off for Poverty Tour 10 days, and if I look at it from my own aspect, it would make more sense for me to do an event of my own for that kind of time frame, which I don't know. Like, I have a lot of subscribers in other countries and stuff, so it's kind of tricky for me, but I think I probably could get enough people together to do something, but I don't know. There's a few things that I just want to do for myself anyways. I'd like to do the up through the east there, a little bit of a cruise up through there. If I had enough people for that, I would probably do it. I would do it myself anyways, but there's also like, I've been there quite a bit, but my younger kids haven't been. So like going up through the Black Hills there and doing like the Black Hills through South Dakota and all that stuff, that'd be really cool too. The only problem is from like here to go there, it's pretty boring. Cruising the coast, I want to do that. I was kind of thinking about doing that this year, and that's the same time as the blue collar drag. So I don't know. The problem too is like you go to Tucson at that time of year. It's like it's a 2-day drive, and it's always cooking hot. And I went to the duct tape drags before. I think I was there. I think I went there the year prior, and I did a few events that year, and it was like frickin' hot, man, like brutal hot. I actually went to Famoso Dragway for the Hot Rod Garage Day filming and all that stuff. If they ever release it, I'll be in that, but just some stuff like that was cool or whatever. Famoso was like a lot nicer of a temperature, but that was in September, and then it cools off like in that area more. And there we go. Obviously that oil pump was getting tension put on it by the, there we go. There we go. So this is the infamous oil pump O-ring pickup tube that causes all the problems all the time. So if you guys have never seen that before, this is the pickup tube. And what's going on from the UK, man? How's it going, Trevor? What's going on, David? Looks like you've made progress since we last saw the car last. Yeah, I actually had a whole bunch of problems with my truck there. I had to put a complete rear end in my truck, so that was a whole screw around last week there. But anyways, if you guys have never seen, this is when you start losing oil pressure, that's the oil pump pickup O-ring there that goes bad. It starts getting swished out over time or getting really hard, and then just turns into dust pretty much. Just going for blue collar this year. May take 2 cars, drive 1, haul 1. There's a run what you brung class would fit, and then the road warrior class for cars driven more than 200 miles. I was at duct tape drags last year. Weather was nice last year, but the year before was hot. It was. What, do you have a YouTube channel, man, or are you just like there for to go meet people and stuff? Or I was I know a lot of those guys there. I kind of haven't seen some of those guys in a while, but I do know them for sure. But yeah, as always, I don't know. It's like I said, for me personally, like a two-day drive like that is pretty far. So kind of a, I don't know. What's up? Who's hiding over there? Is that my son? Just trying to be quiet over there. No, slam the door. All right, so yeah, I think you can with the 302-1 pan, I think you can use this windage tray. So when I put that other engine together, I was trying to put the F-body pan on it, and I didn't. Again, I've never done this before, so if you're doing this, this is a good learning lesson. The front of the windage tray, so it would be here, basically from here on, you can either take it off and cut it because the F-body pan hits it. I didn't know that, so I ended up putting the other one back on it, which is the problem now. And then, or you can get the actual F-body windage tray, but I think the 302, I don't know, what is it, the 302-1 or 302-2 or whatever, one of them is just a little bit taller. And for this particular car, the pan is still shallow, but it won't, I don't think it'll have the windage tray issue there. Otherwise, you have to buy a windage tray separately, which is kind of stupid, but yeah, this is definitely new. The chain is definitely new, so that's good. You can kind of tell. Don't mess around with it there. I have a YouTube channel. You have commented on my stuff before. Oh, okay. I have a terrible memory, so that's funny. Changing the water pump behind. Oh, you're the one in Saskatchewan, aren't you there? No, you're not. Are you? Are you the one from Saskatchewan? I can't remember. I have a terrible memory. Changing the water pump behind the timing change on my 2.7 SE charger, taking a break because I'm pissed at the location. Got the timing chains and pulleys off. Nice. I drove the, oh, I got you. You live in Oklahoma here. That's right. Gotcha. I do remember now. You actually live kind of close to Oklahoma City, right? Somewhere out there. You're on a farm. I do remember now. I do remember. I don't even remember why I found you. I think I saw your profile with the Trans Am, and I don't know if I clicked on it or it came up as a suggested friend, I think, if I remember right. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, this guy's got a cool car. So I think that's how I found you. And then I think you had a video posted. So, but yeah, it's definitely cool. I like doing those types of events and stuff like that. I don't know. It's always something. Like there's so much, man, in my area. Like there's a web page here that just shares all the events, and if you went within 60 miles of here, I mean, there's probably 4 to 6 events every single weekend from basically February all the way through until basically December. It's crazy. And so we did not too long ago here, just kind of, I don't know, I don't get out in the community enough and meet people and whatever, so just to try to meet some people. My wife's got a YouTube channel too, so we went to Cars and Coffee and just gave away some coffee because she does a coffee channel there. And so we went there and kind of gave away a whole bunch of cold brew coffee at the last Cars and Coffee, but we're probably going to go to some different events and maybe do that too. But we were thinking of maybe doing, I was kind of doing a little bit of a feeler because I didn't really know where to go. The Cruising the Coast is only like 9 hours from here, and it's supposed to be a really cool event. I kind of ended up through there last year by accident. That's how I found out about it. It was the exact same time. And long story short, ended up going down there or whatever, and I thought, man, it seemed like a really cool event. It's not super cluttered like a lot of them are, and so 9-hour drive. So I was thinking if I could get a handful of people together to cruise down there, even if they didn't want to spend the whole week, because a lot of people don't want to take a week off work or whatever, so maybe they could come for a day or two or whatever. Maybe cruise from here, stop at some like coffee shops along the way, and just kind of get a little bit of a group going there or whatever. That would be kind of cool. So that was kind of, yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking. I would like to do the Black Hills and do that, but it's just a long ways of kind of nothingness, I guess, is the problem. I had a construction joke, but I'm still working on it. Ha, ha, ha. What's up, Charlie? You're in Texas, eh? Cool. I'm in northeast Oklahoma near Tahlequah. Nice. That's cool. I live down by Fort Smith there, so I'm not too bad. But yeah, like I said, for me, even for you, it's probably pretty much the same thing. It's like a 2-day drive. 2-day drive, so you've got 4 days of just that, and then 3 days of the event, or I think it's 2 this year. But so you're basically a minimum of a week, and if you're gonna drive an old car, then you almost need to give yourself a buffer. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it could be basically if I just even took it easy with a group of people, and we did it. I was thinking of if we were going to do cruising the coast. It starts at Gulf Shores, but I was thinking of either maybe going down and like cruising there first, and then on the way back coming through like Dallas or something to stop at like Summit Racing and maybe do some of that kind of stuff, meet some people over there, and I think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe connect up with Summit Racing to have a little car get together there or something. I think that would be cool. So yeah, I don't know, just kind of feeling it out, but have a couple months yet before that happens. So July, August, yeah, 2 months. Me and my wife just started talking about it, so I don't know if I'd have enough time to get it together. That was kind of what I was thinking though. So anyways, yeah, got new timing chain here. What else we got here? Yeah. That's good. I'm gonna have to pull the oil pump off anyways to, I guess I might as well just take it off. I'm gonna have to pull it off to, I guess I could show you what's going on here. Let's see if I can get you a little better angle. A little better angle of the giant mess that I'm making here. Try to take apart some of this stuff here. So yeah, this oil pump is 243-471-30809, and I ran that number and I didn't really see anything. So like I said, it was pretty excited that I ended up getting this thing for free, essentially. So $300 LS1. And then so I found a set of, there's actually a guy in Oklahoma City that he does head building. He does it actually for all the Street Outlaws guys and everything, a whole bunch of those guys. And I just happened to see a set of these heads, and so I made him an offer on them, and they're CNC ported, and they got stainless valves in them, and yeah, really nice. They're shaved a bit, so I have this, let me show you guys since I have it off the shelf now. This is what happens. I always find deals on things. So I found this Texas Speed cam. Holy cow, my shop's a mess. My garage is a mess. So let me see here. What do we got? So I posted a picture of this. If you guys follow me on the old socials, you probably saw this. So this is just one I saw. It was, I think I bought it for like, I don't know, $200 or something. And it's a 231, 246, 111 LSA, 640. Yeah, 640 intake, 615 exhaust, which 640 intake is getting up there. And so I checked back with the guy that I bought the heads from, and they're milled down 30 thou. So that probably is going to be an issue. I thought I would be able to just get away with throwing this in here with those heads and making a lot of power, because this is but it would be, this is getting to be quite a bit, in my opinion. I mean, again, it depends on the purpose. If you're going to actually drive the car, to me, this is getting to be up there for a cam for size-wise. And a lot of times, man, LS's just, they don't always need this giant cam. So a lot of times you don't really have to have like a gigantic cam to make the same amount of power, especially baby cam. Baby cam. There's guys that are running like, well, the problem is this car has flat tops, and then with the shaved pistons, or with the shaved heads, sorry, and the flat top pistons, it was already getting close. So like just with the duration and everything, people always think it's just the lift that has to do with the piston and valve clearance, and that's not really the story. But anyways, so what do you got? All right, I've never had one of these oil pumps off either, so there you have it. Probably should pull some bearing caps and see, but Bayron, how's it going, man? You've been in here before, right? I don't think you've been in here for a long time, though. If it's the same account that I'm thinking of. Yeah, I'll have to. I know a lot of guys. I don't know. It is the right thing to do to like to agree the cam and all that stuff or whatever, but Am I going to do it? Likely not. Probably not. The new cams are getting bad now, though. There's a lot of times where they're like not even remotely close to being, like literally not even remotely close to being within specs. So rotate this sucker over here, and then I guess I can start pulling off the lifter trays and all that stuff. I'm going to put LS7 lifters and all that kind of stuff in it. What else we got here? How am I making such a mess here? Holy cow, man. It's ridiculous. You can tell that chain's brand new. It doesn't even have any wiggle or anything in it. So they must have put the timing gear and chain and all that stuff in it when they did the cam, which was cool. All that, but ooh. Where'd all that new oil come from? Holy cow, that oil's black. Yikes. But again, I don't know why they decided that they were going to put an LS1 into a freaking Tahoe, but that's what they decided to do. And this is the first time I've ever seen an LS that's not stamped. Usually they have 4.8, 5.7, 6.0, 6.0, like IV or whatever, Gen 4, sometimes 6.2 or whatever. And I'm pretty sure I thought the LS1 blocks were stamped 5.7 too at the front, I think. The other ones I think are at the back. But this one is not stamped anywhere. I don't know why. That's very strange. But the other thing I don't really know about is like, what do? You just get a whole new cover for this, or do you put new gaskets inside here, or do you just change the entire cover? So this is the back cover. So I don't know if you just buy the gaskets for this. I've never had one of these off either, so this is all new for me. It seems like if that was to be changed, that seems like that would be a pain. I don't even know if it needs to be changed. Oh, I see what's happening. I didn't realize that was separate. Ah, wow. Look, guys, I'm a genius. All right, interesting. Okay, well, that's good to know. See, I learn something every time I start digging into something else. These engines are so easy, though. It's like, this is literally, if you were to work on a small block Chevy and take it apart and put it together like this, you'd be forever at it compared to this. So yeah, it's a BTR NSR cam. That's what we kind of got here. So I was going to ask if anybody's ever pulled the camshaft out of the back, or if there was a reason that you couldn't, obviously, other than it's on the stand. But if you had it just hanging or something like that, if you could actually do that. Wow, I made a mess here. You should replace, yeah, the main, yeah. So I was thinking the main seal, but I didn't realize there was a gasket around the edges. I thought that was part of the actual plate. That's why I was confused. Gillum said, we always use cams based on duration and LS. My cams for anything race oriented start at 250 to 255, 108 to 112. Ah, that is a lot of cam for an LS1. I want to drive it too, though, right? So I guess that's some of it, but and drive it to not be like super annoying. So I'll probably end up going backwards a little bit in size. I think the piston to valve. So I could go with a different grind that's big-ish, but I don't know. Like Tony Angelo, if you watch Stay Tuned at all, you guys know Tony Angelo there. He put together literally an LS1 like this with AFR enforcer heads. So they only flow like 260 or 265 CFM. And the Summit Racing Stage 2 cam, and it made like 490 horse with the same intake and carb and everything. Now, I have way better heads, so if I put that Stage 2 cam in here, should make, you know, probably 550, I think. My black 69 GTO with 455 has 255, 262 on a 110. My green 69 GTO with 535 has 285, 292 on 114. Are you talking advertised spec though? inch of lift. I guess it's not then. Crazy. 255, 262. But the deck heights are different too though. So are you talking like, because if you didn't have milled heads, you could definitely put that in here. I think the stock LS1s, I think they said that the Magic Stick 4 or whatever, so the MS4 cams, which were pretty close to this, was like pretty much the max that you could do without basically, hopefully that's the rest of the oil, but I think that was the max that you could pretty much do without having piston to valve clearance issues. Now there's of course some tricks around that. You could do a little thicker head gasket, but then is it really worth it at that point? Because then you're losing compression. So it's like, it's kind of a trade-off right then, and you're trying to put a bigger cam in there and then band-aiding it by having lower compression. So is it really, in my opinion, the more compression you have, the more snappy cars feel too, especially if you're gonna daily drive them or whatever. All right, let's see what we got here. I don't know why this didn't drain out when it was like sitting here the other day. So I would personally, I think I would rather have a little more compression and a little less cam than more cam and less compression. To me, they start feeling lazy when you start getting a whole bunch of cam with not enough compression, then they just start feeling doggy. Now that's not to say they can't be fast. You just make up for it with a converter. But I don't know. It's kind of, the intention is just because I got it, I'll probably put it into this thing, but I have another car that would be kind of a perfect engine for as well. I don't know. I think I'm going to pull yeah, I think I'm just going to pull the camshaft out of this thing, which I'll probably do while we're here BSing. But I think I'll pull the cam out of this deal here and probably throw that into like a 5.3 or something like that. I don't know, BTR claims it's supposed to make like 429 horse on a dyno. It's like 55 horsepower gains, which is, I believe, the gains part. It wouldn't make 430, I don't think, on like an engine with all the accessories and everything. That's why but I think the 55 horse gain over whatever the stock would probably be accurate. All right, well, that's that. Has anybody ever put a turbo drain? So when I did my LY6 here, because I bought a pan with a turbo drain on it because I was going to boost that car, and it never happened yet. But I ended up putting the turbo, I got the cover because I ordered the pan and then had the wrong pan, so I put the one that came with it back on. And then I put the front cover on with the turbo drain, and I started wondering, I was like, man, with all that, when you get the pulleys and stuff there, would that be too tight of a space if you ran that AN line down to the front cover? So I think I'm going to order one of these with a turbo drain, just in case I ended up putting a turbo on this car. This would be the perfect car to turbo because it's got so much underhood space, and so even for a guy like me that doesn't know what he's doing, and you're trying to if you're trying to basically work in a small amount of space and not have a whole bunch of I guess perfection to make perfect angles and things like that, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. I guess if you're talking stock valve springs, I mean, these heads they got 660 BTR springs on them, so they got good springs. So, but that's only part of the equation, of course. If they weren't milled, then it would probably be fine. But again, what's up, Biff? How's it going, man? Thanks, man. Yeah, it's definitely a project is a good word. good way to look at it. I asked the other day about these, because I thought I ran the numbers and they came up as LS7 trays, but everybody said they're stock, and then apparently the aftermarket trays have the same part number as the LS7 trays. So I don't know. it is what it is, I guess. So I'm gonna pull the lifters out of this thing so I can pull the cam out. You can do that without pulling the cam, but I'm changing the lifters anyways, so I'll show you guys if you've never done this, because I just learned this too, so if I learn something, I like to show you guys along the way. But pull these trays out of this thing and these lifters. Let's see what we got here. But yeah, it's not too bad. This is for a channel my size, this is a monster project. Like, this is something I would have taken on when I was young and just kind of tinkered away at it and spent, you know, months at it, tinkering or whatever. But because I'm an idiot, we're going to do it on this channel, I guess. All right. At least that's the plan anyways. All right. My garage is so small. I'm always at that like point where I'm like, man, I'm scared I'm going to lose like nuts and bolts and screws and stupid things like that. So here, let me show you guys. So if you have an LS7 lifter, which again, I didn't know this, but so this is like the factory style lifters. And if you see how it's like open at the bottom here, now this would be completely boxed in if it was an LS7 lifter or like the newer style lifters. So if you ever come across that and they're kind of like, see how it's just got a tab? It's almost like if you grabbed it with a screwdriver, you could pull that tab apart. The aftermarket ones, you won't be able to see the edge of this here. This will be boxed in. So, what kind of engine? What's up? Asia, I guess? I don't know what your name is. It is a LS1 with an LS6 block. So, just figuring all this stuff out as we go. Winging it here. It'll be what it'll be, I guess. I'll probably keep these lifters for another project, because if I ever just need a lifter in a bind or something like that, or if I just, whatever, just throwing an engine together and maybe it doesn't have them or something like that, I would throw them back in something. They're totally fine. They're just not really. Their failure rate is high, right? So that's kind of the deal here. I think I'm gonna have to grab a magnet or something. Let's see here. Maybe. Come on. Maybe, maybe not. Don't fight me. I don't want to grab them with pliers, because then they'll be marred up when they want to go back in there. But yeah, it's a LS1, LS6 block. It's got a BTR, no springs required cam. Why is this not coming out? Interesting. Interesting. We'll come back to that. What's going on, 808? How's it going, man? So, man. Oh, that one came out good. So he's got a little bit of, just from me tipping the motor back and forth, and there was just a little bit of coolant in them, in the motor yet. Kind of got a little bit of coolant down the engine. You can kind of see it on the lifters there. I should just find like a container or something to keep those in. Just keep them stored in oil. That's probably not the worst idea. Huh, why are these not coming out that good? That's not ideal. They slide up and down the lifter bore fine, but you get to the top and they're like hooking on something. It's like the roller's catching. There we go. Yeah, see this one. There was like some junk kind of got down on the engine. I don't know if that was prior to me having it or something like that, but I think I don't know. I don't really know how that would have happened. There was definitely some, yeah, see, even I'm just touching it here. It's like there's dirt in the I wonder the first time they took it apart and put the cam in it, if they just didn't get it fully clean before they started taking off the heads and stuff, and there was like little bits of dirt and stuff getting in there. That's what it seems like. So pretty straightforward anyways though. Oh, there we go. Maybe. Come on. It's hard to grab them when they're so oily like that. How's it going, Phil? So, pull that out of there. Cool. So, got a pretty good deal on this thing anyways. Like I said, this cam that's in here was like a $409 cam and stuff like that. It had new timing gear and chain, the oil pump, so that's worth a few bucks anyways. It's probably, I don't know how much an oil pump is, but probably another 100, 200 bucks. And then, man, come on. And then the lifters, all that stuff there. Well, I guess they didn't change the lifters. I don't know. To me, these lifter trays look like they've been changed, but could be wrong. Okay, this is not. It's wanting to fight me here. What do you guys got going on today? But either way, it was a decent find. This like never happens to me where this pretty straightforward and they're all in pretty good shape. And the one thing I haven't really pulled off is the main bearings and stuff, and I don't think I even need to worry about it. There's no shavings or anything like that in the oil, so no point in trying to mess with something that's not a problem yet. We'll see how the cam bearings are once I pull that off there. Okay, I got that lifter out. It's always a fight here. Woo. That was a slice. Your mic is really low. Is it? Let me see if I can turn it up a little bit. Sorry, it might be just me muffling it. Let me see if I can adjust it up a little bit here. Oh, there we go. Did that help? Let's see if that helped. We've had so many mic issues the last like few months here. Finally had a set that actually worked, and then I ended up losing the main controller for it, so that was ridiculous. Oh, man, there we go, maybe. All right. Anyways, guys, I'm just pulling the lifters out of this thing. So, but yeah, so this is kind of the project I'm working on here. This has kind of been the latest here. It's not too bad to tear down, but it was surprisingly. So I went through it first there. I'm not affiliated with these guys at all, but that I use AIM lubricant. It's like this Planet Safe lubricant it's called. And I went through and I lubed up all the bolts and nuts and everything that I was going to be taking apart. And I ended up let me grab my magnet here, see if I can get it out easier. Yeah, I ended up lubing all that stuff up in a couple days ahead of time or whatever, and man, it was crazy. It just came right apart. So I wasn't sure because I used that stuff more for like a lubrication, not so much as like a WD-40. It's more of like I always use it as like a prevention thing usually. Like I use it on chain binders and things like that. But okay, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm not too sure about that. This magnet sucks. Well, other side maybe. There was just a little bit, like I said, a little bit of. That was prior to me having it because I was kind of cleaning it out as I went along, but it's a little bit of just. I don't know if it was dirt. It was just like, I don't know, maybe like either dirt or chunks of oil or something. It was minor, but it doesn't take much, you know. Even there, I can felt like a chunk of maybe like gasket or something got down in there. It doesn't take much to cause a little bit of stickiness in there. I don't want this stupid thing to come out. It was right to the top. Felt like I almost had it. Ah, well, minor problems. How's it going, Peter? There, that's better. It's better, Phil. Nothing too exciting happening here today, guys. Like I said, just tearing this thing down, finishing it up so I can kind of get a rough idea. Well, I pretty much know what I need now, so I'm trying to figure out what's the best economical solution to make some decent power with it. So because I basically got this thing for free, I don't mind to put, so I bought the better heads now for it. They're still like a stock head, but they're CNC ported. Yeah, I mean, they're not roughing the bores or anything like that, so I mean, that's good, I guess. Yeah, they're CNC ported. So that's what I think I'm going to use on this. The stock heads, they still flow like 230 or 235 CFM, which is like, by LS standards, isn't that much. But if you were to have a small block Chevy, 15 years ago, and you had heads that flowed 230, that was an aftermarket head. Even to this day, that's not that terrible. So lots of guys made 4 to 500 horse range with that pretty regularly. All right, next one here. Put the screw back in before I drop it. How's it going, Chris? What's going on, buddy? Just another day, another day. I was leaving last week. You know when things start going pretty decently and you're like, hey man, this is going all right. Haven't had anything major go wrong in a long time. Well, ended up breaking the rear in my 2015 Ram there. Must be a common problem because any ones that came up for sale were gone like immediately. So I got a good deal on the rear. I ended up having to buy a whole rear because it trashed all the bearings and it trashed the ring gear and pinion and all that stuff. And then we think it nipped an axle. So I ended up I was just like, well, whatever, it is what it is. So oh man. I ended up finding a used rear for it with like 130,000 miles on it, and $3,500 later, by the time it was all installed and everything, there is looks like it's in good shape. Yeah, so this is were you here already, Chris, when I told these guys what this was? So it's an LS1 with an LS6 block, which is good. Ow, mother. So yeah, LS1, LS6 block, and then somewhat along the way, which is like not very long ago because it's brand new pretty much, it's got a BTR. It's basically, I think it's like a BTR truck cam essentially, but it's an NSR cam, so no springs required cam or whatever. And yeah, so I kind of got lucky, got some pretty good parts for pretty much nothing here, so it's kind of nice for once. Ended up getting that MSD 6014 and the MSD 6014 and the Holley intake and the accessories, which should work decent in this thing. And then, I mean, just the cam alone was $409. That's in this. I won't use it in this particular car, but I can throw it in like maybe a 5.3 or something like that. And then it came with a new oil pump already. And what else did it have? Yeah, it had a new oil pump and cam and timing chain, so timing chain and gears, I should say. So not too bad at all. Can't complain. Anyways, so now I just need to figure out. I had a cam laying around and I posted about it to see if it was going to be too close, because I found a set of freshened up heads for a really good deal because I didn't spend any money on this. I was like, I'll just spend a little bit of money on some decent heads so I don't have to, because the problem was that even if I was to keep the heads that I had on it, that I would have had to get them checked over, if you wanted to be reliable, to get them checked over, and then turns into like, then you have to get the BTR springs and stuff, and I think those are like, what, $300 for the springs, for the 660 springs. How's it going, Sean? Right-hand drive? No, not exactly. Man, how is this not? This is annoying. Maybe I won't be reusing these. I wasn't going to put them back in this engine, but I thought maybe at some point if I had one that was like needing lifters, I'd put them back in there, but I don't know. Kind of in a pain here. I guess that's how small block Chevy lifters get too, though. You get pulled to the end there, and then they kind of get bound up. Yeah. I can't believe people don't realize that. That's funny. It always makes me laugh. You'd think with all the technology in the world that they could figure out a way for the camera to not be reversed. Like, how would, I don't understand. It's the camera, Edward. Yeah, it's cambered. When you have it forward facing on your phone, for some reason it turns the picture around. I bet you I have probably at least 10 people every time I do a live be like, right-hand drive, right-hand drive? No. I don't think they ever made a right-hand drive Belair that I know of. Come on. Stupid thing. All right, well, moving on. And the last ones. So, what's the sensor on the side of these block? Is what's his name still in here? So there's the, what is it? Which side is it here now? I guess it's on, yeah. So it'd be on the passenger side rear at the bottom here. What's that sensor? Because I always thought that was the knock sensor. Because this is what, the crank position sensor here. And then I thought the knock sensors were on the sides, at least on the Gen 4s they are. But this one had knock sensors in the valley, so unless there's extra one. Yeah, yeah, no kidding, I'd retire from it. Yes, sir, you bet. That would be cool though. But yeah, so it was funny because I posted it. I don't know, people just like to argue about things. They're like, I'll ask a question because I don't know, and I'll just post something about it. There's usually some cool people that have like good answers and stuff. And people are like, see that? Oh, but then what's the top one here? Isn't this the crank sensor? Oh, this is the cam sensor on these. That makes sense, yeah, because it's not on the front, because I think on the, yeah, that's right. So the cam sensor is on the Gen 4s, is on the front cover. That makes a lot more sense. That makes sense. I thought you didn't know anything about LS's, Chris. For a guy that doesn't know anything, you seem to know some stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So, yeah, crank sensor, cam position sensor. That's right. All right, that makes a lot more sense. Wonder if they're more accurate on the sides or if they moved it because it was a pain for them to get at it or whatever. Usually engineers never care about that, but it seems like it would be a lot easier to get it from the sides. I don't even know when they started that. I think it was probably the first year of the Gen 4s, I guess, eh? Couple more to go here. Yeah, this cam looks like it's brand new, so that's good. You'd have to find a bolt or something to pull it out with. Top one is the crank sensor. Oh, the top one's a crank sensor? Huh. Oh. Huh. You build both? Really? You've been holding out on me. Top one's a crank sensor, a reluctant wheel. Interesting. I did not know that. Okay. Oh, yeah, just drop that one and wreck it. That's good. Yeah, probably likely never reuse these anyways. Lifters are pretty cheap these days. I think lifters, if you go to Richard Holder's site actually, I think lifters with the trays are only like 190 bucks, which to be fair, $190 can be enough for some people, but it all adds up at the end of the year. $190 here, $190 there. Man, the LSs are so much easier to work on. Like, You couldn't tear apart like in a small block Chevy and put it together in anywhere near the amount of time as these ones. So much easier to work on. So have you done any LS ones at all, or just mostly like 5.3s and stuff? Man, because that would be. Have you actually built them? I'm trying to kind of decide on a cam that will be. I have a rough idea, kind of size-wise, but I'm thinking I'll just put like the Stage 2 Summit cam in. I think it would make, with those CNC ported heads, I think it'll make like 5. I don't know. I feel like it should make 550. Probably with a little better intake would help too. There we go. Sorry, I just got to move you a little bit there. All right. But yeah, it was kind of, you could see it kissed the valves a couple times, like barely. And guys are saying you can fly cut these pistons, and I've heard that before. And they make a tool for them, and I have heard that as well, but I didn't know how much meat there was on there, so like I wouldn't know the right amount to go. I guess if you ever had a blown up motor or something like that, it'd be a good time to like test it out and see, just play around with a used piston or something like that and see if you could fly cut it and how much, because I don't know how much material, how much you'd have to take out to clearance too. So, oh. All right, well, almost all of them, except for the one, maybe 2. We're 1 away from, all right, I gotta grab a pair of pliers here, see if I can get this last one out here. I don't really wanna mar it up, but we're at the final point here. Maybe I can grab a needle nose so it doesn't like scuff it up. Oh, look at that. See, I should have just done that in the first place. Man, I thought they'd come out way tighter than that. Genius at work here, guys. Oh, man. 585. You're talking like the sloppy Stage 2? That's what those are, right? Sloppy Stage 2 are like 585, and I forget how much duration. What's up, Maxwell? How's it going, man? Okay, well, grab a bolt for these. Yeah, so that would be similar. Are you saying you use the ones from Summit? I think the Summit ones have 600 lift, but they're 226, 238, I think, is what they are. So basically, you call it a basically 226 cam, essentially, is what that's kind of the one that makes the number, more or less. I need push rods too, I guess. Summit Racing's got some really nice looking push rods there too. Do you normally do the trunnion upgrades, or you just take a chance and run them with the factory bearings there? That seems like I think the Summit Stage 2, like actually the Summit Stage 3 I think would have enough clearance in here. The thing is, really the right thing to do is to measure it, but then you have to buy the cam, put it in, and then if it doesn't have the clearance, then it's a problem. And they say that cam pulls past 7,500 RPM, and I'm never going to be anywhere near that. Probably just to save the motor here, probably if I could have it swinging around 65. I mean, LS's will take 7 all day, but okay, interesting. I thought about the sloppy Stage 3 too. They got a lot of criticism because the lobes have like that weird swing in them or whatever, but they have weird valve events, is what I should say. But so this is the one. Were you here earlier? See, this is the one I have. I'll show you. Every time I see a good deal on something, I just buy it because I know I'll use it eventually. So really, this is probably, if I had a 6.2, I would for sure 100% use this, but because I don't have a 6.2, or if I had a LY6 that has the fly cut pistons already or something, which is what my other motor is, I probably would run it as well. But so I got a Texas Speed. You guys probably can't read that. So it's Texas Speed 231, 246 at 50. And then it's 640, 615 on on a 111 LSA, so it's getting pretty big. So yeah, I think they're, I don't know, I've heard lots of good things about Summit Racing cams there. They seem to be pretty good, and try to support them, try to build a relationship with them a little bit too and stuff like that. And they're close, and I'm always buying stuff there anyway, so just kind of see. But so I have the disc brakes for this thing ready from Summit Racing, and then the glass. I guess I was getting to that earlier, but I start talking myself in circles. So I got that all from Summit Racing as well. So I bought, yeah, it's actually kind of, hello.
Am I missing something, or did you not get an intro video?
That's at the very end. There's intro and outro. She's editing my video here, my wife. What converter? So I think I usually run anywhere from like a 32 to a 3600. I mean, you could have a 32 that's like a cheaper brand that won't stall anywhere near that, or you could have a 32 that's like a good quality brand that will stall exactly what it should. So I've run 36s in a lot of stuff, and I've never felt like it was like sloppy or whatever. A lot of people think that's too much, but again, that's usually if you have a terrible quality converter. So probably depending on what cam I put in, right? So that's going to be kind of the determining factor there. But I mean, if the cam makes power from 3200 up or less, then 32 would be plenty. Basically just trying to get into the power band, right? So if you kind of have something that would keep it in that power band, then that's when you're going to be the fastest. Texas Speed are really good. Yeah, they are for sure. That's why I bought it. I was like, well, I know I'll put it in something here eventually. I just don't know what yet. Because I was actually going to buy a 6-liter for this car, mostly so I could get a iron block to boost it. That was kind of the plan, sort of ish. But I was like, well, it's hard to argue with free. This is here. It's aluminum. It's light. The car's kind of heavy to begin with. Put this in there. I've got some used fiberglass fenders ready. I'm going to put on this thing. A couple things like that. So I mean, these are only like 400, and I think they say they're 468 or something, fully dressed, if you have the LS1 accessories. So it might be a bit heavier with like truck accessories, but let's call it 500 pounds for a fully dressed motor. So, you know, that's, I tried to pick up that motor that was in this thing with the tractor I have, and that thing lifts 1,000 pounds, and it literally couldn't even lift it off the ground. So it gives you an idea of how freaking heavy they are. Yeah, the Texas Speed cam is really rowdy. So I think, like even the one that I have, so this is a tickle bigger than I have in my Camaro, this Texas Speed one, but that one's again, to be honest, it's so because it's like bigger, but that one's got fly cut pistons, but it's actually got less compression because it's got fly cut pistons. So really, that car probably could have had like shaved heads or something like that, and it would have made it a little bit snappier. But this cam is actually a touch bigger than the one that's in my Camaro, I think. So I was like, yeah, that one's already, it drives good and everything. Like it drives nice. It's not like all, you know, sometimes if you get too big, then they kind of get lazy in the bottom end. It's not like that at all, but that's also 20 cubes is 20 cubes, right? So, all right, well, I got that apart. What else do I need to do? I need to find a bolt to pull this cam out. I think I got all the lifters out now. Yeah. See if I can find a bolt to pull this cam out with here. I am totally going to lose all these parts. Be buying every single new bolt. Usually, if you can find a longer bolt there, I can grab a thing here. Let me grab see if I can find some bolts that size. Man, this garage. I was actually gonna see if I can find some shelving there. What's up, Jacob? Did I sell the Camaro yet? I did. I actually kind of ended up, I didn't even have it posted. And then after the $3,500 that happened to my truck last week there, I kind of needed money in a bind there. So I did sell it, but I sold it for $5,500, which is the guy that got it too. He was like, it was like ecstatic about it, which made me happy too, because then you know it's going to somebody that's actually going to care about it and, you know, probably do something with it. Oh, a little smaller than that. So that was cool. I always like it when cars go to somebody that's actually going to do something with them or whatever. And try to at least take care of it to some extent or whatever. So he already put the spoiler on it. Sorry, Sean, if you're still here. Put the spoiler on it. Oop, too small. Get a long bolt here. Maybe just right. Oh, it's probably metric. Frick, I bet you it's metric. I want to bet it's probably a metric bolt in here. Might be able to screw it in far enough. But yeah, so I sold it for $5,500. So that was basically like paid for my rear. And then I had a bunch of other catastrophes like in the last couple of weeks here. So basically that money was gone instantly. So that really kind of sucked. Usually when I sell a car, I put the money back into a car. So now there's that. Need more views, guys, need more views. All right, let's pull this cam out of here. Oh, yeah. Man, it almost looks like they put new cam bearings in it. Ooh. Move the camera here a little bit. Trying to scuff up those cam bearings. La da da. Actually found another 5.3 that I could buy for this that I could put into another project that Chris would want to buy. That one's probably more of what you're after, actually. Oh yeah. So there you go. You guys want to see what it was? Just so you know I'm not BSing. I don't know if you can actually read that, but. So BTR Truck Norris 212 222X, so like 220, I guess. It's funny to see a cam that's only got 498 lift in a modern cam. 498, 498. So there you go. Not too bad, not too bad. Let me see if I can just drop this and wreck it while I'm at it. I'm terrified to even set this thing down because of my luck there. I'm gonna actually put this on some cardboard. Be right back. I don't want to be wrecking this thing. It's probably a proper way to store a cam, I'm sure. All right. Cool. There we go. I want to take a look at these bores here because or the bearing, not the bores, sorry, the bearings. Sometimes I talk myself in a circle here. Medium. See a little bit of brass. I mean, would it hurt to put bearings in it? That's the real question. Man, it's so hard to see when you're. Yeah, I mean, you can see a bit of the copper coming through. Yeah, I think it's gonna need cam bearings. I don't want to do cam bearings. That sucks. Yeah, it looks like when they were pulling the first cam out, they nicked this top one here a little bit. All the way through, actually, as a matter of fact. So that's probably a good thing it got pulled when it did before it got totally trashed. Ah, that sucks. Means I gotta put cam bearings in it. Ow. I didn't want to do it. I don't want to do cam bearings. Frick. Let's see if I can show you guys this. Easy to scratch something, wrap it in some packing material, store it flat. They're often hollow, and when they tip over, they can snap. Put a 500 lift in my 6.0, it runs amazing. BTR claims that it'll make with this cam, I mean, this is the dyno or whatever, but with a 5.3, with that cam, their dyno numbers say 429 horse and I think it's like 437 torque or something. That's probably optimistic. What did I say it was? 220 cam? Yeah, it's pretty small. Mind you, 5.3 heads, flow decent, more compression. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. Did you put a BTR one in there or something else? Man, that sucks. I didn't want to. I want to put bearings in this thing. I don't think I have a choice though. I mean, I do have a choice. I could just put it in, but I don't know. I've never done bearings in one of these either. It looks pretty straightforward, I guess, but this sucks, man. Frick. Yeah. I'll see if I can show you guys this, but let me see. How's it going, Dave? Let me see if I could show you guys. So, and then what do you guys think here? Can you guys still hear me? Sorry, I'm bumping around the mics here. You see the top there? Or maybe that's marks from, I don't know. Can you guys see that? But either way, you can see it's, sometimes people will run them like this, which I don't know about that. And then you can see when they pulled it out, there's like right there, right about above the flashlight there, there's a little bit of a nick in it. And yeah, it's gonna need cam bearings, I think. I don't know, what do you guys think? Yeah, I kind of thought so. Once you start seeing copper like that, it's not usually a great sign. And you can see if you look close, look right, let me see if I can get it to focus there. You can see it's kind of nicked on the outside. Now that wouldn't probably call it right here. Let's see if you guys can see that better. Is my camera just out of focus here? There we go. You guys can see that there. So between the showing of the brass there and the nicks, and I can't really fully see inside there. I don't know. It's hard to tell because it's still got oil in them. Once it drips off there, I'll be able to see better. But it looks like all the way through on the tops there. You can see right, if you look right at the top here, there's definitely some problems there. So kind of yeah, comm bearings. Yeah, I wish it was only comm bearings, then I wouldn't have to worry about it. So I don't know, at that point I probably just put a cam plate on it, a couple of things like that. And if it was something I wasn't really caring about, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal, I guess. But because I kind of want this thing to actually live, it's gonna have some money into it now. What's up, Woj? Woj? I don't know, man. I don't know how to say your name. You guys need to come up with some more generic names like Bob. I can say Bob on here. Or like Chris. Hey, Chris is a good, easy name to say on the internet. Right here. All right. Yeah, and you can feel it when you run your hand across it. That's weird. Those marks on the top almost look like, it's almost like a centering mark or something, but well, that sucks. I guess if that's all that's wrong with this motor for free, then I wonder how long it would have lived for with that new cam in there like that before it spun a cam bearing. Now that makes me think I should probably check the crank bearings too then. This sucks, man. I don't want to pull caps off really, but it's not hard to pull the windage tray and stuff, but then you gotta retorque everything. And what do you guys think? Should I pull the crank bearings off too and check them out? Might have to be another day project. What's going on, mini truck? Oh, you know, just doing this kind of stuff. Tearing down. Trying to figure out what to do next here. Looks like I'm going to be putting some cam bearings in this thing. So I wonder if O'Reilly's or parts store there ends up, I wonder if they rent the tool. I wonder if they rent the tool to put the cam bearings in here, or if I have to buy one, I'll look on Amazon or Summit or something like that. Yeah, you're probably right. Especially you start spinning things to 65, 7,000 RPM. If it's not spun yet, it's easy to put new bearings in it. Spin it, then it starts costing you a lot of money. Yeah, you're right. You guys are always the sensible ones. All right, whatever. Let's spin this thing back over. Frick it. This sucks, man. That's going to be my next t-shirt. This sucks, man. All right, put this down by the cam. I don't even know where I got that piece of cardboard from there, but man, I figured if the cam bearings were good, because the cam bearings always wear before the mains usually, unless something has really gone wrong. But usually, if the cam bearings are good, then you're usually safe with the crank bearings. But as you can see here, it isn't really working. Ugh. How is there still freaking antifreeze in this thing? It's been spun over 3 times already. All right, well, there's that. What size here? Ten millimeter. All right, well, could be worse problems, I suppose. I might have to change this windage tray anyway, so I have to go back to the shop. Have a good one. All right, thanks, Minnie. Thanks for stopping in. I say it once in a while sometimes, if I remember, because I get a lot of people in here that I literally have this probably about every 3rd or 4th live. They're like, man, we watched your live and we didn't subscribe. And then we were like looking for your channel and we couldn't remember the name and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, which I do that too. I'm as guilty as anybody. Like I'll be watching, because you know, a lot of times it just comes up in your feed as like recommended and then you kind of get sucked into something, but then you forget. So unless you go back through your watch history or whatever, with me, I watch freaking 1,000 freaking videos a month. So I'd never find it anyways, but if I don't subscribe, I end up forgetting who it was. And I was just watching Big Chief's channel, and it was funny because I saw him post on the other place, social media, and he posted a picture of his subs, and he's like, hey, if you're not watching over here, make sure you guys come check it out. And he hasn't posted in 6 months on YouTube. And ended up, I went and just to catch up on his videos because I like his stuff. He's interesting or whatever. He's always doing something cool. But I went to check out his videos there. He's getting like I mean, for compared to what he used to get like, you know, 200,000 to 300,000 views on every video. And his last handful of videos there were like 50,000. Like, ooh, the danger zone. So obviously he was maybe a little bit of like not expecting that. I think ever since they did this whole like hype the video thing, it changed. I think it changed the algorithm a little bit. And so that's why I tell people in the videos, I should say it at the entrance because a lot of people don't even know it exists. Actually, Sean, I don't know if he's still here, but I was like, I asked him if he saw the hype button because I don't know if it happens on every video. And he's like, man, I didn't even know that existed. He's like, first time I've seen that. So a lot of people don't even know that's a thing, but it helps the videos to get out. So for smaller people like me, the more hypes that you get, then the better it gets shared out to people. So, but man, I don't want to do this. What do you guys think? If I pull one cap and it's good, do we just send it? What do you think, Chris? Stroke. Sorry. What size engine? It is a 5.7 LS1. Stock stroke. I'd put those in a Tupperware with a lid. That is a really good idea, Daryl. I'm glad you thought of it. I think I need to start collecting sour cream containers again. I have bolts everywhere here in my freaking, if you guys can see behind me, it looks like a train wreck in here. What I'm going to do, actually, I just thought about this a couple days ago. I was like, I'm just going to go and buy a bunch of shelving and just start putting it, like, so if I'm working on like this car, everything that came off this car can just go onto that shelf for this car. Because otherwise it's like, dude, it's like just, I'm not an organized person, so this is not working in a small space like this and not having any place to keep things is not a good way to keep me organized. But I don't know what I pull off. Which would be the most likely one to go first? I think they usually start wearing at the back first, so I didn't turn it over yet. This one's to the top, I could easily pull that one off. How hard would it be to turn over here? See if I can turn it by hand. Nope. When I had the pulley on it, I could, but what actually holds the pulley on then? It's just like, just tapered, I guess. That's all it is. That's what I thought, because I didn't think there was a key weight on these. No, there's not. Interesting. Okay, well, what's that? Last time I impacted it on because I didn't know. You're not supposed to do that. Better to be safe than sorry. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll pull off. I guess I will pull off one of the front ones here. What do we need here? Probably, is that a 12 maybe? What size we got here? 10. Looks like a weird size, like 11 or something. It is an 11. I was like, there's no way that's 11. Huh, I guess I was wrong. I was right and wrong at the same time, apparently. Wait a minute. Usually, generally, any time I've ever seen it anyways, if they are going to wear it, they usually wear at the back. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll pull this off. If there's any signs of wear, then we'll start working our way down, I guess. Put the bolt where the harmonic balancer goes. Which one? There you go. There. Put the bolt back in for the crank. There, feel better? I do too. Usually if I take bolts off, if there's a place to put them back in, I'll put them back in because I know that's what I always do, and otherwise I just end up losing them. I haven't gone anywhere with any of these bolts yet, but I'm going to have to put them second from the back. All right, well, let's see what I got here, I guess. I'll have to grab a small hammer and tap this out probably. Yeah, there's a lot of channels that are kind of suffering from that. There were a lot of channels that were ripping good. They just kind of took it for granted, and then they stopped doing their regular, ooh, just about lost that. All right, well, let's see what we got here, guys. Oh, that was satisfying. I don't even want to. I'll take the high side bolt. I'll leave it down actually. Man, look at this. Like brand new. Like brand new, man. Wow. I was not expecting that. I knew this engine has relatively low miles because it still has cross-hatching on the cylinder walls. So that's good. Let's see if we can see any. I'm pretty sure these are stock pistons still, but trying to light in here and see. What are they supposed to be torqued to? Anybody have any idea? You call yourself an engine builder? No, I don't. I do not call myself that at all, actually. I wouldn't even remotely start saying that. Let's not get crazy here, man. Well, that's good. That makes me feel better. So I'll just have to torque that one. Have to check the specs once I get my phone back here. Can you turn the engine over? Oh, is that what you're talking about? Yeah. But I mean, this one's like brand new, so. I could pull the very back one out, but I mean, if this one's not, I don't think I'm gonna pull them all. I feel good about it. I do want to see. I'm pretty sure these are stock. It says 1425 on the inside, 1325, 1425. Can't really read all those. It says Maul. These are Maul pistons. What? Is that what they use from the factory? Maul? I don't see anything like damaged or anything like that. Man, it looks like this has been... Huh. What if this has been freshened up or something? I can't really read any numbers on them. 1425. Looks like 99L15 Mall. That's... I doubt that Mall put... I don't have a caliper right now, but interesting. I don't think from the factory they would have come with Mall pistons though. Could be completely wrong, but... Oh, this thing could have a way longer stroke in it. I'm trying to see if I could read any of the other ones there, but they're hard to see. It says it's either 51766. I think that's what it is, actually. No, wait. No, it's not. It's 99L15. That's what it is. 99L15. Interesting. And all I see is 1425, 1425, 1.425. Is that 1425? I don't know, what's the stock bore on the LS ones? I have no idea. I can read them all on this one. That's the only one I can really see. And they look like they're not very worn out. They look like they've barely been in there very long. So I don't know. I think that was a rod bearing. Oh yeah. Oh, you want me to pull a crank bearing? Yeah. Well, I figured if anything down here was wearing out that it would probably be all of it. I was just guessing though. I mean, yeah, you're probably not wrong. Should I pull one of the crank bearings? I mean, I could, man. Do I want to mess around and let the magic out? That's the thing. Make sure I don't forget about that. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, usually if like rod bearings are going bad or the crank are going bad, usually they all go in conjunction. It literally looked like it was brand new. The rods say I'm assuming that's the weight of them. It's like they're stamped 225. Something like that. It's hard to read. Is there a chance this thing was freshened up at one point? I'm pretty sure LS1s you can only go like 10 over and then they have to re-sleeve it or something because the sleeves are really thin. Just looking at it, the sleeves look like thin, so yeah, probably makes sense. Hello, hello, Wisconsin Dells. Very cool. Are you gonna put the original interior in the car, in the original AM radio? Keep it up. Honestly, just the main reason I wouldn't put, I do kind of like the original interior, but it's freaking heavy, like dumb heavy. And then I found on Ecklers.com there, they sell like the door panels and everything. And I was like, oh, this is a good deal. It's like the door panels for the front and the back there, the side panels, like a couple $100. But it says it's like 3 to 6 month wait for them. Hello from Russia. How's it going, man? More than likely, crank is okay, but toss a coin on that. Yeah, maybe. Man, it looks like it's been freshened up. You guys want to see inside here? I don't know. You guys give me your input here, but this looks like it's been freshened up to me. I've seen inside a lot of motors or engines. You're an auto mechanic? Nice. Here, let's take a look. What do you guys think? So you can see down there, it's hard to see on the camera. Let me see if I can, let me wipe the camera here. I think it's because my one lens is dirty. Sorry. There, maybe I can see better now. Okay. All right. Is that a Belair? It is. So you guys can see this. It doesn't, why does it want to freaking focus? But, I mean, it looks pretty fresh. Those pistons don't look like they've been in there for, 26 years. I don't know. I don't know if you can see on this one here. This is the one that says you can see the mall on it there. I have no idea. Belair, ooh, nice. Medium block, nice. I don't know. I could pull a cap off, I guess, and check it, but chances of it being bad usually once it starts, if you start wiping bearings, that material just gets in the oil and it just starts wiping everything else. So, not saying it couldn't happen, but if this one's like brand new, yeah, chances of anything else being a problem, probably not. So that's good, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, lifter bores, like maybe a little bit of wear there at the bottom is probably, but that's kind of normal. I've seen people just kind of hone those out a little bit, but I'm always scared to mess around with that. This one says, yeah, 99L15. Someone search that. What do you guys search that? 99L15 I meant. Mahle, M-A-H-L-E. So Mahle pistons, obviously. Because I don't think that's stock. I can't see GM putting Mahle pistons in their engines. That doesn't add up to me. Swap. That's kind of the plan. Going into something anyways. You have good cars in America. We've been producing 1.5 liter engines in Russia for 30 years. Nice. Pretty safe. Check the crank bearing. I'd take it off and look and torque it back on. Yeah, you're probably right. I probably should do that. I think you're onto something there, Daryl. Which one should I take though? Maybe because I took the rod bearing off of this end, I should take a crank bearing off the far end maybe. Probably the easiest one to put back on too, I guess. Look guys, this is a Chevy with a 4-bolt main, pink rods, got the thumper cam in it, double hemp heads. Makes 600 horsepower, enough to hop a pop can. All right, well. All right, frick. 3UZ FE Toyota, second from the back. Why the second from the back? All right, what size is that? 13 maybe? Let's see here. Guess we're taking it apart, guys. Hopefully I don't regret this. I've had bad luck taking main caps off and breaking them. Yeah, you're probably right. I should pull the middle because you're supposed to kind of torque them in that order, so I guess it wouldn't really hurt it that way. Let's see if we got the right one here. I think I need a 13 deep. What's everybody up to today? You guys are all busy in here today. Not as busy as some days. I think last time I was in here, there was like 150 people or something crazy. 12, 13. There we go. Try to put the sockets back right away because otherwise I end up losing them like everything else. What? I didn't even see in the wrong. Wasn't even the right one. Apparently that one's a different size on the inside. 14? 15? What? Apparently it's 15, guys. All right. Oh. Get this here. LS swap. Yes, sir. In something for sure. What's up, hi? All right. Daryl, I hope I don't regret this. What is that? Oh boy, those are really torqued. Oh boy. That was probably not what I should have used for that. Oh. Holy crap, man, those things are tight. Wow. Those were definitely good and snug in there. I think this thing's got a whole rotating assembly and it changed. That's my opinion. Let's see. That's what it seems like anyways. Do you know if it was smoking or had blow by? Don't think so. No, he sent me a video of it running. I don't know if, I'm pretty sure it was accurate, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to run those numbers. Holy cow, man. I cannot believe how tight those are. I almost want to get a real ratchet or something because I don't want to break my actual ratchet here. Ooh, holy. I'm already regretting this, Daryl. Oh boy. Wow. Crazy, crazy. Oh, there we go. Whew. All right. Holy cow. Those were in there tight. Yeah, I don't think so. I think everything was fine, honestly. There's no way that there's no way that thing has bearings that good and just looks this good inside if it's not been freshened up. I feel like. Daryl made me pull this apart, so if it blows up now, it's his fault. We're gonna have a t-shirt made. Everybody blame Daryl. That's what I always say. I say, be like me, but better. I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. All right, if you guys are just jumping in here, we're pulling apart a free motor I got here. Pulling some main caps off. I just pulled a rod bearing cap off there. Looks like the bearings seem to be in incredible shape. And maybe this thing's got some sort of forged rotating assembly in it. I doubt that, but what are the chances? All right, well. It's probably a better way to do this, but. I'm gonna grab a little hammer and give it a little tap there. And give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, taparoo. Nobody ever digs this far into LS engines. It is weird because it doesn't look like the stock cam bearings either. Daryl. Is that 55 right-hand drive? Yes. Yep. All them 55 right-hand drives they built, you know. Huh. Don't want to get prying around here. Where's Chris at? Chris, give me some advice how to get this out of here without actually breaking something. I got a big pry bar, but I don't want to get reefing around here. So the 2 pins on the bearing are on that side. See, when you record yourself doing it, then you can't really mess it up. So if you don't, then I think I'm gonna have to grab a pry bar here, guys. Let me grab a pry bar and see if I can get a huge pry bar in there just to give it a little leverage. Make it a little bit easier here to get this main cap out. That's why I was going to pull the back one because I thought it might be easier to get out. Perhaps. Watch me knock this thing out and drop it on the floor too. Break it or something. Not going to be that tight. Straight on tap with no pry bar. Put a little bit of pressure there. Once it breaks loose, it should go, but. Whew. Daryl, I think this is the world's way of telling me not to take this apart. Oh, there, maybe it's coming loose now. Come on. I feel like small block Chevys were different than this for some reason. Like there's more access to things. Seems like there's lots of room in there. You can see there's space now. Why isn't it coming? Daryl. Frick. Let's see. We have a t-shirt. Daryl made me do it. I'd imagine finding a main cap for an LS1 is probably extremely difficult. Come on. Now it seems like it's loose, but it's not wanting to go for some reason. Whew. Tap with the rotation. Guess how fast your cars are. How fast? Daryl, stop, no pry bar. I wasn't even prying on it. I literally just barely had any pressure on it. You're not paying attention to me. Tap with the rotation. The rotation of what? Yeah, I wasn't putting any actual pressure on it. It was just like trying just to get it bump loose. And it seems like it's. Let me grab the flashlight here. Daryl made me do it. Oh, like turn the crank? I'm a pro stock car racer. Nice, that's cool. Thanks, Drift. It's not too bad. How's it going, Wayne? Would it kill you to get some Rust-Oleum? It would not. I wasn't prying on it. I was just putting a little upward pressure so that when I hit it, I thought it would come loose, but I guess it's not really coming loose. This terrifies me. The ends of those caps are so. I'll have to torque these bolts back down to do that, otherwise I'm going to forget about them, so probably come back to this and make sure, but close enough anyways. Well, we know that it looks like it's pretty decent. Just got to get that cap off and check that, and then it's really pretty much it. I'm going to run those numbers for those mall pistons and see what that comes up as, because somebody in that's the only reason that got me thinking about this. Somebody in the comments and and a post I made were like, they're like, to me, it looks like that bore is way bigger than a 5.7. I was like, And I saw these pistons and I'm like, maybe. You never know. What do you guys got going on? Holy cow. Freaking. Here we go. What now? Main cap stuck is what we're doing, yes. Oh, I'm scared to break it because I don't want to have to go looking for one and getting it machined and all that stuff. Close up, let me see if we build drag monsters, what we doing close up. Okay. What do you mean? This is just the stock Ellis one. I mean, I don't know that's for sure. That's what we're trying to figure out here. Yeah. I haven't done anything with the car. It's a part. It's an upcoming video. As you can see, it's missing a couple parts. You know, needs things like engine, transmission, brakes, wheels and tires. Paint will probably be last. Interiors. If you guys are just jump in, I'll just show you because I'm going to ask 200 questions about it anyways, but there's nothing in the interior. It's all tore down now. It took me like 2 days of vacuuming and cleaning just to get it to the point of this. So it needs floor pans, which I have. Hopefully the ones that I got are the same for this car. So it's a 56 Belair 210, whatever you want to call it there. What else was the deal with this thing? I don't know. I mean, it just needs everything. So I'm trying to just make it into like a pretty quick street car that looks kind of cool and trying to do it in the most economical way possible. If you guys are new to my channel, check out all my other videos and stuff, subscribe, whatever. But it's basically a budget YouTube channel. So if you haven't been here before, that's why I have this. I paid $300 for this with a Tahoe, MSD 6014, Holley intake. It's an LS1 engine with an LS6 block. Somebody put a cam in it already. So all we've kind of discovered here, if you're just getting to the live right now, is that it needs cam bearings for sure. I pulled one of the caps off here. I could just show you guys because it's still loose. But pulled one of the caps off of the rods there. You can see that obviously the bearings are still good, which is cool because that's at least that part of it. We were going to pull one of the caps off here, and it's kind of being tough here. So I think I need to. I don't know. I need to torque these back down, but I don't know what the torque spec is. Rotate the main bearing so it's sticking out. I can, but I don't. I need to tighten up these rod bolts, and I don't want to forget about them. And if I just snug them down. The Tri-5 was not sold in the US. Did you get that from Canada? What are you talking about? Buddy, there's like millions of Tri-5s here. Or tens of hundreds of thousands anyways. Just keep what you're doing. Slow taps. Number them so they go back into the same spots. Gotcha. You should give your car back to Glenn Quagmire. Anyways, whatever. It's coming along anyways. So it's all this stuff is just like piddly little things that are always a thing or whatever. But it's always satisfying when I close the door and it just closes nice like that. I love that. That is 70 years old and the door closes good yet. Just shows you how much better it is made than the crap that they build today. All right. Well, I think I'm going to jump off of here. I don't know. Unless I don't know. Man, I'm terrified to break this thing. You're saying so I can get underneath it and like tap it up? Is that what you're getting at, Daryl? Turn it over a little bit. Let me see if I can. Man, I don't even know if I have a. I don't have my torque wrench is 1/2 inch and it's old school. I have to torque all this back down now. Probably gonna have to buy a torque wrench. I don't have a 3/8 torque wrench. I don't even know if I have a good 1/2 inch torque wrench, if I'm being honest. How small do my sizes go here? I didn't think about that, guys. 3/4, 7/16. Probably have one somewhere. They were assembled in Oshawa Car Assembly in Ontario. I think they went back and forth from there to Detroit, didn't they? I don't know where it came from. I bought it from Florida, but I said it's a basket case. That's what's going on with it there. Sorry, you see that, but that's what's happening. So I just got this engine, like I said, for pretty much free, probably less than free because I got a whole bunch of stuff with it that would have costed me money. So stoked about that, but just kind of slowly chewing away at it here. I need to get some saran wrap and wrap up that camshaft there and a few things like that, and should be good to go. So yeah, I'm gonna have to, let me see. Do I have a torque wrench that's actually decent or not? I have old school torque wrenches, guys. And you want to see how old some of my torque wrenches are? I'll show you guys. I'm gonna see some old torque wrenches. But I trust them more than a new one because I've been screwed over by new ones before. This is how old my torque wrenches are. Because I hardly ever use torque wrenches for anything. But these slide gauge ones work really good. I don't think I've ever used this one. Let me see. This is a gray DFN 250. This is how budgeted I am. Just remember that. That's why I didn't want to take this apart. Let me see, foot-pounds. See if I can find a socket to put on this thing. This is like the world's oldest torque wrench. Don't be jealous. Rod bearing's okay, torque it back down. Yeah, we'll see if I have the right size. Let's see if I have the right size for it here. I really need to get a 3/8 torque wrench for some of this kind of stuff. This is freaking gigantic. I don't think I've ever used this one now. I want to try it though. Might not be the place to try it on, but what can I test it on for the heck of it? Let's see if I can find a socket that size. I don't think I have anything that small. In a 1/2 inch. What is this? 15, 14, what was that? 13, I think. Smaller? Too funny. I like getting people wound up on my channel. Makes me laugh. Is anybody around here in the Midwest or what? You guys close enough to actually want to do some sort of a cruise? I'd like to do some sort of a cruise together. 13. Well, that was the 11 of it. That was the 11. Where the frick did I put that now? And I don't have one that small. I'll have to go to my truck. I think I have all my 11 millimeters in the truck for that small there. 9/16. What is this? 14, 1/2 inch. Yeah. Yep. Don't have anything that small for that. I could snug it up, but I don't want to forget about it. So until I torque it, that's as far as we're getting. Can't believe you made me break it, Daryl. Daryl done it. I feel like I should have the socket for that here, but I guess not. It's all my impact sockets, I think. Please buy a real torque wrench. Oh, you don't like this? Come on, man. If it was good enough for our parents, it's good enough for us. Let's see what it's reading right now. Go backwards with it here. There. It's pretty genius. You gotta admit, it's pretty genius. You can adjust it both ways, so it's got Newton meters and foot pounds. That's funny. 56 there, Jason. Could buy a real torque wrench. This is a budget channel, man. I don't have Need more views if you want me to buy a real torque wrench. Times are tough. Times are tough. Yeah, it's 56. 56 Chevy. All right. I need to figure out what I don't know what the specs are on this anyway, so I can't tighten it up right now, but I just thought it'd make you laugh. These ones work though. I used to put these up against, like this one, I've had this one forever. And I used to use it with I had a snap-on torque wrench and we would go against each other. And this one was always bang on. And the other one was like the snap-on wrench was literally like out probably 3/4 of the time. Because I used to do water in-ground services and stuff like that. And I remember we were tightening it up to like whatever I think it was like 85 foot-pounds or something like that on some clamps for water lines there. And we were using the snap-on wrench there and it broke the pipe. And we're like, how is it even possible? We weren't even near the spec yet. And yeah, the snap-on guy actually came with a brand new wrench. Was like, oh yeah, this thing's way out to lunch. And it was funny because I tested against this just to see, and it was like the snap-on wrench, the new one was reading the same as this, but the old one was just like way out to lunch. So it's kind of funny. But there's no way for these to really be inaccurate. That's the thing. Unless you get these bent or whatever. This one might be a foot-pound or two off, but close enough. They don't cost a lot. Yeah, no, they don't. They're not that bad. All right, guys. Well, I think it's going to be it. You guys are supposed to search the mall part number for me there and see. You have to see. Maybe this thing has aftermarket pistons in it. I don't know. I wish I could tell, like, if there was something stamped on the rods for what like if the rods were changed, because these kind of look like they've been changed, but I don't know. I don't see how it could have been though, because this thing was never open, I don't think. I'm pretty sure as I was opening it up there, unless it got rebuilt by like an actual shop and they put all the paint marks on it. I don't know, maybe they came from the factory with mall pistons. I know they were hyper-eutectic, and that's kind of, yeah, I would say that's probably what these are. Maybe that's what they came with. I don't know. That's crazy. You can see all the cross-hatching still. Use a little touch up here, but not really. Guys claim that they'll pull apart an engine with 15 passes on it, do a ball hone to it or whatever, and put it back together, and it'll make more power. Oh. Everything looks good anyways, so I don't think there's anything to really worry about here. But, all right, guys. Been on here for a bit, so am I going to leave the patina? For now. I don't like patina. I'm not a patina guy, but it needs so much other things that I just need to start working on it. Yeah, I probably could. Probably could. But either way, I don't have a torque wrench. See, I just touched stuff in the engine there. See how it looks like it was almost like, it's like anti-seize or something almost. Oh, maybe this engine was apart at one time or something. I don't know. I thought it had like orange paint marks all over some of the bolts and stuff. So I thought that was like a GM thing, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was like a builder put it together. And I don't think so though. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna duck out. Got to figure out a way to torque these back down. Rotate that over there, knock that out, and check at least one bearing, and then should be good to go. But yeah, I think it'll be. So we know for sure that it needs cam bearings now, just from looking at it here today. I was hoping it wasn't going to need that because I didn't want to deal with that, but it is what it is. I guess it's better to know than tear something up or whatever. That's why I figured I'd just pull at least one of the caps here and see, make sure that it's all good. All right, guys, I'm going to duck out of here. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, I'm gonna have a video coming out probably Friday, kind of the teardown of this thing. Ciao from New York. What's up, Joseph? Thanks for stopping by, guys. Appreciate all the support. I have Chilton, correct? I do. Yes. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out for a bit. I'll catch you guys later.